Hi, first grade. It's Mrs. Dialer coming to you from her living room again. And today's lesson is going to be about the different types of books that you can find at home, in school, or in the library. So what I chose to do is I picked a couple books. So I'm going to show you two. Now, I want you to stop and I want you to think how they are like and how they are different. So the first book I'm going to show you is called Moustache. Now, when you're looking at it, you're like, oh, that's a moose, but he's got a mustache and he's wearing clothes. Looks like a fun and exciting book, right? Sure is. Now, the other book I'm going to show you is called Pets at the White House. Now, we know that the White House is where the president lives. We also know that some of us have dogs and they love to play fetch, don't they? Or catch, or whatever games, tug of war, right? So, what is something that you notice that both these books have in common? Now, if you're thinking, oh, they're both books, you are correct. But what is something different about these books? Well, this one looks like it was drawn by an artist or an illustrator. And this one looks like they were taken with a camera. Now, today's lesson is going to be about nonfiction books and fiction books. And what makes a fiction book a fiction book? And what makes a nonfiction book a nonfiction book? So what Mrs. Diebler has chosen to do is make a PowerPoint slide for you. And on one, we're going to talk about the characteristics of fiction books, and the other slide is characteristics of nonfiction books. So I'm going to show you that slideshow on my computer, and what I have to do is I need to share my screen with you. Then I have to go here, and it comes right up for me. So here we have fiction versus nonfiction. Now here we have some books that we may have seen before. We have Pete the Cat, which we know, and we have a book on elephants. Now we did read a book in my class about elephants, and I know all the other first grade classes have read it too. So I know you might think this might be the one, but it's not, it's another one. So the first one we're going to talk about today is fiction books. So what is fiction? Fiction books are not real. Fiction books have illustrations or drawings. Fiction books have a beginning, middle, and end. They also have a character and setting. Fiction books also have a problem and solution. You also have to read fiction books in order, and we usually read them for fun. Now here are 3 different types of fiction books. We have Harry Potter, we have Fly Guy, and we have an Elephant and Piggy book. Now in all 3 of these books, animals are talking. Animals can't talk. So if you are reading a book where an animal is talking, it is a fiction book or a fantasy. It's made up in our heads. Okay? So if we're talking about fiction, our next slideshow is going to be all about nonfiction books. What is a nonfiction book? Nonfiction books are about real things. They're based on real events. We read them to learn about things. You can usually read them in any order. They can also teach you how to do something. And sometimes they have table of contents and have photos, charts, and graphs. And sometimes have bold words. And those big, bold, black words in those books. That means it's an important word. And usually we can find the meaning of that in our, what, boys and girls? Glossary. And we're going to learn about glossaries later on. So here we have 3 nonfiction books. We have, it's called I Dissent, or Ruth Bader Ginsburg Makes Her Mark, and this is about someone who is on the Supreme Court currently. We have Chick's Life Cycle, and we have a frog's life. These are all real things. Can we find a frog in our yard? Yeah. Did we learn about chicks in our homework packet? We sure did. So those are just some of the differences between fiction and nonfiction books. Now, on this next page, it says, let's watch a video. Now, what I'm gonna need you to do is in the bottom of this, I need you to highlight this or have your moms and dads help you, and it will take you to the link. And it's a cute little song. It's about 2 minutes about fiction and nonfiction books. But I'm not gonna play it for you because I want you to be able to do it and rewind it and listen to it as much as you want, okay? Now, in our next couple lessons, we're gonna focus on different things of fiction, and we're gonna get more into details of fiction. And then another lesson, we're gonna focus more on nonfiction books. So today's lesson was just kind of touching on it a little bit, okay? But now I wanna see what you learned in just this little bit of a lesson that I've taught you today. So I want you to click on this link, okay? And before you click on it, I want you to ask mom, dad, brother, sister, someone who's living in your house to sit down and play with you, okay? And when you go to this page, it's going to look like this. We have player 1 and we have player 2, okay? So I'm gonna use my daughter's names today because they're not here. I'm gonna type in Brooklyn, and then I'm gonna type in Reagan. And I'm gonna hit begin. Okay, now here's my challenge board. Now, if any of you watch Jeopardy, it's kind of like Jeopardy. So if you get the answer right, you just keep picking another one until you get one wrong, and then it's your opponent's turn. So I'm gonna pick my favorite books for 300. Now, my question is, if favorite book is filled with facts and photographs about dirt bikes, it must be a blank book. It's got facts, that means it's information. Photographs, which I know are taken with a camera, and dirt bikes are real. So is it going to be a fantasy book, fiction, or is it going to be a nonfiction book? Real stuff, real good stuff. I'm gonna go with fiction. Let me see. I need to figure out what fiction starts with first. F. I'm gonna type in F. Oh, I got it wrong. It was nonfiction. Why didn't you guys tell me? All right, now it's Reagan's turn. So let's see. Reagan's gonna go for, anything goes for 300. What kind of book is a dictionary? Now, dictionary is where I find the meaning of a word. Words are real, so it's gotta be nonfiction. So what's a non, start with N? We said F, and F. Let's see. Yes, I got it right. So Reagan gets to go again. Okay. So then Reagan gets to pick again. Okay. So this is what I want you to do. I want you to play this with somebody at home. And then when you are picking out your ELA books, because you need to read how many steps? 2 a day, right? And you make sure you're writing them down. I want you to try to find a fiction book and a nonfiction book to read, okay? Maybe you can jot down notes about what you learned in your nonfiction book. I know this is a quick lesson, but we are going to get deeper and deeper into the differences and what makes fiction books fantasy and what makes nonfiction books real. I hope you guys had a great day and we miss you.